The reggae legend died at 36 without a will, sparking decades of legal warfare. Now his estate is worth over $500 million. His 11 children run a cannabis empire, and family secrets keep emerging. By the end of this video, you'll know the shocking truth about Bob Marley's fortune, the billion-dollar fraud that nearly destroyed everything, and how his family turned tragedy into one of the most profitable estates in music history. May 11, 1981. Bob Marley died of cancer at just 36 years old. He was one of the biggest music stars on the planet. His estate was worth $30 million at the time, equivalent to about $100 million today after adjusting for inflation. But here's where everything went wrong. Bob Marley never wrote a will. Why? His Rastafarian beliefs discouraged creating wills because it showed too much concern for earthly possessions. Marley, focusing on material wealth after death, went against his spiritual values. He believed in living for the moment, spreading love and unity, not planning for estate distribution. That decision, however noble, unleashed absolute chaos on his family. Under Jamaican law, without a will, his widow Rita Marley would receive 10% of the estate immediately, plus a lifetime interest in 45% more. The remaining 45% would be split equally among his 11 legally recognized children from 7 different women. Sounds simple, right? It wasn't. Not even close. Before the estate could be properly divided, something sinister happened. David Steinberg, Bob Marley's business attorney, and accountant Marvin Zolt convinced Rita Marley to forge Bob's signature on documents. These forged papers, backdated to before Marley's death, would transfer the majority of his corporate holdings, royalty rights, and money directly to Rita. The scheme was discovered when one of Marley's longtime business managers grew suspicious. What followed was a brutal 10-year legal battle that consumed nearly $6 million in legal fees, almost half the estate's value at the time. Both Steinberg and Zolt were eventually found guilty of fraud totaling over $13.4 million that had been diverted from the estate. Although Rita wasn't found directly responsible for the fraud, she was removed as a trustee of the estate in Jamaica. The damage was done. The family was fractured, trust was shattered, and that was just the beginning of the battles ahead. The legal warfare didn't end with the fraud conviction. Claims against the estate came from every direction. Marley's 8 bandmates, the Wailers, sued for their share. Cayman Music claimed ownership of some recordings. Several women came forward with paternity claims. Multiple children from outside his marriage to Rita had to prove their legal status. The Marley family faced another crisis when Chris Blackwell, president of Island Records and owner of Marley's music catalog, wanted to sell the estate's assets for $8.2 million. The family argued this price was far too low and fought the sale in Jamaican courts. When local courts sided against them, they appealed to the UK-based Privy Council, which finally ruled in their favor and blocked the sale. The Marleys then devised a brilliant strategy. Even though they lacked cash to purchase the music assets outright, the adult family members agreed to forfeit any immediate monetary gain in exchange for ownership stakes in the music assets. They negotiated a joint venture with Island Records that preserved Bob Marley's legacy while securing their financial future. In December 1991, after a contested hearing before Justice Clarence Walker, the court approved the family's position. The musical assets, along with rights to Bob Marley's image and likeness, were transferred to the family. This decision proved to be worth billions. The family correctly predicted that maintaining control over Bob's legacy would generate far more wealth than accepting a quick sale. Fast forward to December 2025. Bob Marley's estate is estimated to be worth over $500 million. His music still sells millions of copies annually. The Legend album released in 1984 remains the top-selling reggae album of all time, moving over 250,000 copies every single year since release. And that's over 40 years of consistent sales. The estate earns millions annually from album sales, streaming services, and partnerships with major brands. Songs like One Love, No Woman, No Cry, and Three Little Birds generate massive royalties through streaming platforms, radio play, movies, commercials, and TV shows worldwide. The estate is now managed under the name House of Marley by 4 of Bob's children, Ziggy, Cedella, Stephen, and Rowan Marley. They serve as the primary decision makers while the other siblings sit on the board and share proceeds evenly. This structure has helped maintain family unity after years of devastating conflict. Beyond music royalties, The Marley brand appears on everything from premium headphones and speakers to turntables, apparel, lighters, and lifestyle accessories. The House of Marley audio products alone reportedly earned $3 million of the estate's profits in recent years. Every product bearing the Marley name generates licensing fees that flow back to the family, but the real game changer came in February 2016 when the family launched Marley Natural, the official cannabis brand of Bob Marley. This wasn't just another celebrity endorsement. This was the family honoring their father's lifelong advocacy for marijuana legalization. Marley Natural was developed by the estate in conjunction with private equity firm Privateer Holdings, which specializes in cannabis industry brands. The brand offers 3 categories: cannabis products including whole flower, pre-rolls, and oil cartridges, body care products infused with cannabinoids, and lifestyle accessories including premium smoking accessories. Cedella Marley, Bob's daughter and CEO of the Bob Marley Group of Companies, serves as the primary spokesperson. Multiple family members including Stephen, Rowan, and Donisha Prendergast have been involved in building the brand. Cedella explained their mission, saying her dad would be so happy to see people understanding the healing power of the herb. He viewed it as something spiritual that could awaken our well-being. The cannabis is available in California, Oregon, and Washington state, while body care products and accessories are sold online and at retailers nationwide. The brand features heirloom Jamaican cannabis strains inspired by the varieties Marley reportedly enjoy. Every product is marketed with clean, sophisticated packaging, nothing juvenile or tacky. This is premium cannabis for adults who take the plant seriously. In 2023, the family opened the Marley Natural dispensary in Kingston, Jamaica, at 56 Hope Road, the site of Bob Marley's former home and recording studio. This became Jamaica's first Marley-branded dispensary, bringing the business full circle to Bob's homeland. The cannabis business extends further through partnerships like Jeter x Bob Marley, which launched the One Love Unity joint in California, Arizona, and Michigan. The family has built a multi-million-dollar cannabis empire that honors Bob's beliefs while generating massive revenue. Critics argue this commercializes Bob Marley's legacy, turning him into the Marlboro Man of marijuana. They point out he already ranks among Forbes' top-earning dead celebrities, generating about $20 million annually for the estate before cannabis. But the family maintains this fulfills Bob's vision of marijuana legalization and his belief in the herb's positive power. Bob Marley fathered 11 children with 7 different women, plus adopted 2 of Rita's children from previous relationships. Sharon Marley, born in 1964, is Rita's daughter from before her marriage to Bob, whom he adopted. She was a founding member of Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, winning 3 Grammys with the group. Today she's shifted focus to education, founding the Total Care Learning Center in Kingston and advocating for Montessori-style teaching. Cedella Marley, born in 1967, is Bob and Rita's first biological child together. Beyond being CEO of the Bob Marley Group of Companies, she's a fashion designer who created uniforms for Jamaica's 2012 Olympic team and has designed for Puma and Barney's. She's also an author and the founder of the Catch a Fire fashion brand. Ziggy Marley, born David Nesta in 1968, is Bob's eldest son and arguably the most famous musically. He's won 8 Grammy Awards, collaborated with artists like Paul Simon and Busta Rhymes, and even wrote the theme song for the PBS Kids show Arthur. He led the Melody Makers before going solo and continues releasing acclaimed albums. Stephen Marley, born in 1972, is another 8-time Grammy winner who has worked as both a musician and producer. He's collaborated with the Fugees, Michael Franti, and his brother Damien. Stephen has 13 children of his own, including the late Joe Mersa Marley who died in 2022. Robert Robbie Marley, also born in 1972, took a different path, becoming a graphic artist and poet rather than pursuing music. He's married to Ash Marley and keeps a relatively private life, occasionally sharing his artwork and poetry with his followers. Rowan Marley, born in 1972, is an entrepreneur and former football player who played for the University of Miami and the Canadian Football League. He co-founded Marley Coffee and the Tough Gong clothing line. He had 5 children with singer Lauryn Hill before marrying model Barbara Fialho in 2019. Karen Marley, born in 1973, is Bob's daughter with Janet Brown. She's a fashion designer who launched the brand by Karen Marley in 2022. She prefers staying out of the spotlight and has spoken about the challenges of living Under such a famous name, Stephanie Marley, born in 1974, is Rita's daughter with Owen idol Tacky Stewart, adopted by Bob as his own. She worked on the business side of the family empire and directed the Marley Resort and Spa in the Bahamas. Julian Marley, born in 1975, is the son of Lucy Pounder and a Grammy-nominated musician who performs reggae and has collaborated with his siblings on various projects. He's a devout Rastafarian like his father. Kaimani Marley, born in 1976, is the son of table tennis champion Anita Belnavis. He's both a reggae and dancehall musician and an actor who has appeared in several Jamaican films including One Love. Damian Marley, born in 1978 and known as JRB Gong, is the youngest son. Born to former Miss World 1976 Cindy Breakspear, he's become one of the leading voices in contemporary reggae, winning multiple Grammys. His hit Welcome to Jamrock brought international attention to his talents. Makeda Marley was born in May 1981, just weeks after Bob's death, to Yvette Anderson. She's lived a relatively private life compared to her siblings. The financial success of the Marley estate comes down to brand management. The family fought for decades to protect Bob's image from unauthorized use. According to some estimates, there are millions of dollars worth of unauthorized products using Marley's likeness. And between authorized and unauthorized licensing fees, there is reportedly $500 million of revenue annually. The Marleys have successfully sued merchandising companies using Bob's image without permission, setting legal precedents for other musicians' estates facing similar issues. They've been ruthless about protecting the brand while strategically licensing it for premium products that align with Bob's values. The 1991 Jamaican Supreme Court ruling that gave Rita and the children exclusive rights to use Marley's name, likeness, and image for commercial purposes became the foundation of their empire. They've used those rights to build partnerships with companies producing everything from audio equipment to cannabis to coffee. Bob Marley Week, celebrated annually around his February 6th birthday, drives massive sales through smart marketing campaigns. The family has turned his birthday into a global event where fans buy music, merchandise, and celebrate his legacy while the estate profits handsomely. The family also established charitable foundations to help disadvantaged children in Jamaica access sports programs and education. The Bob Marley Museum in Kingston, managed by Sharon, preserves his history and attracts tourists from around the world. Bob Marley has received numerous posthumous honors including induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. His music appears in countless films, TV shows, and commercials. He's inspired generations of artists across all genres. The tragic irony is that Bob Marley, who believed so deeply in rejecting earthly concerns, inadvertently created one of the most complex and valuable estates in entertainment history through his refusal to plan for it. What started as a spiritual stance against materialism turned into decades of legal battles, family conflict, and eventually a $500 million empire. Today, the Marley estate generates an estimated $25 to $30 million in royalties annually for the family. The cannabis business adds millions more. The brand licensing deals continue multiplying. The children who once fought bitterly over their father's legacy now work together managing one of music's most profitable estates. The estate's value has grown from $30 million in 1981 to over $500 million in 2025, more than a 15-fold increase even after adjusting for inflation. If Bob Marley were alive today, financial experts estimate his net worth would exceed $200 million based purely on his earning potential. His grandchildren, now over 45 in total, are beginning to make their own marks. Some are musicians continuing the family tradition. Others work in fashion, business, and entertainment. The Marley name carries weight across industries. The cannabis empire continues expanding as more states and countries legalize marijuana. Marley Natural represents the perfect synergy of Bob's beliefs and modern business opportunity. The family positioned themselves at the forefront of a multi-billion-dollar industry that Bob fought to legitimize decades ago. So what nobody talks about is this. Bob Marley's refusal to write a will, rooted in his spiritual beliefs, created both disaster and opportunity. The fraud, the lawsuits, the family battles, all of it could have been avoided with proper estate planning. But through it all, the family persevered. They fought for control. They protected the brand. They built an empire. The 11 children, despite different mothers and complicated relationships, eventually united behind their father's legacy. They turned music royalties into a global brand. They transformed Bob's marijuana advocacy into a legitimate cannabis business. They preserved his message of peace, love, and unity while building generational wealth. Bob Marley died at 36, too young and without preparation. But his legacy, carefully guarded by his family, has grown into one of the most valuable estates in entertainment. The battles were brutal. The fraud nearly destroyed everything. But in 2025, the Marley empire stands stronger than ever, a $500 million testament to the enduring power of one man's music and message. The estate that started with chaos and betrayal transformed into a carefully managed business empire that spans music, fashion, cannabis, audio equipment, and lifestyle products. Every time you hear One Love in a commercial, every time someone buys Marley Natural cannabis, every time a tourist visits the museum in Kingston, the cash register rings for the Marley family. The children learned from their parents' mistakes. They unified instead of fracturing further. They hired the best lawyers and business managers. They protected their father's image like it was made of gold because, in many ways, it is. The Marley brand is now worth more than Bob ever earned during his lifetime. His death at 36 seemed like a tragedy that would end his legacy. Instead, it sparked a transformation that made him more valuable dead than alive. That's the brutal truth of celebrity estates. Properly managed, they can generate wealth for generations. Mismanaged, they disappear within years. The cannabis business represents the future of the Marley estate. As legalization spreads globally, Marley Natural is positioned to become one of the dominant brands in a market expected to reach hundreds of billions of dollars. The family took their father's most controversial belief, his advocacy for marijuana, and turned it into their most profitable venture. That's not exploitation. That's honoring his vision while building a business. Bob Marley believed marijuana was a sacred herb with healing properties. He believed it should be legal and accessible. His children made that vision a reality while building a premium brand that educates consumers about responsible use. If this story shocked you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel because we're dropping more explosive celebrity estate stories that will blow your mind. Comment below and tell us which music legend's estate you want us to investigate next. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive. And share this with anyone who needs to understand the real cost of dying without a plan. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.